Turn this down. Hey, Tammy Edwards. Hey, girl, hey. Hey, Trina Bolden. My classmate from elementary, middle school. Hey, Angela Shank and Terry and Belinda and Tony. Hey, girl, hey. Hey, Coco. Hey, niece. Good day thinkers, thought leaders, progressives, and dreamers. I'm Craig the Writer Stewart, and this is the Facebook Live version of So Much to Say. These are my thoughts in my voice on black shit, white shit, gay shit, and everything in between. Hey, Crystal Currents, thank you for the $11 GoFundMe donation the other day. I didn't realize that was you. I was looking for your name, Crystal Currents, and I was like, who's Crystal B? Hey, Kenya Curry, Janice Fields, Santana, who's always so faithful with sending his $5 donation through the Cash App. Thank you very much. Christy Burt Williams. Ooh, pardon me. Darlene, Renata, Lola. I just put the... Lola, now you know I didn't have this apron on from yesterday. I just finished cooking. Hey, Rita. Put them cigarettes out, Rita. There's no smoking in here. This is a non-smoking building. These potatoes. They're divine. Hey, girl. Hey, hey. What's up, Marcellus, Trina Maddox, Harold? Is it Bonnell? Ralph? Renee Montgomery? Hey, Renee Montgomery. She coming here yelling. Hey, Angela. Cammie. I did some wonderful herb potatoes. I steamed some broccoli over in my steamer. Thank you for sharing the video, Marcellus. Hey, Kwame. Quinterio, Wendy Newman. Hey, Christy Burt Williams. Hey, Simon Burris. Hey, girl, hey. Come on, Baltimore City College in the building. I steamed some fresh broccoli. Simon, I always talk about food in my mouth. I be talking and smacking and carrying on. Rita, we're going to hold out for you. Rita, you got until December the 31st to come up off them cigarettes, okay? Hey, Lamar, Marlene. What's up, Marlene, in Baltimore City? What's your zip code? I'm 21215 in Baltimore. What's up, Larry, Ashia? Oh. We have a free giveaway for a t-shirt, for a So Much to Say podcast t-shirt. What's up, Anton? What's up, Kimberly Sams, Datis, Curtis Cook, Jay Ronell? What's up, Needs? Hey, Angela Twyman. Angela Twyman, I was talking about you earlier today. I was on my live on the page that will be going live from starting in October. You know that other Craig Stewart page that I've been sharing? I went live from there earlier to see who's already prepared and ready. Is that Afua Mensa? Is that how you say it? Hey, Wanda Berry. Hey, Patrice Tudor. But Angela Twyman, I was saying how I watched the episode of Married at First Sight. Girl, that show was something else. How can I believe that black guy put that woman out of that house? And they're going to say he didn't put her out. Well, what do you think it means when you pack somebody's clothes up and set it out in the hallway? Isn't that what it means? Doesn't that mean that I want you to leave? If you pack up somebody's clothes and put them in the suitcase and put them in the hallway of the condominium, doesn't that mean you want them to leave? Hey, Kim. Hey, Cassandra. Hey, Amy Love. Latasia. Melanice. So look, Kwame is doing a giveaway. He's giving away a So Much to Say podcast t-shirt. The new one. Oh, Marlene, I write about Park Heights in my first book. Are you a reader? Marlene, I write about Park Heights in my first book. This is the second book. I will be reading an excerpt from the book, the second book tonight. I'm going to tie it into what I'm going to talk about tonight. I'm going to tie it into what I'm talking about tonight. I have some blackened shrimp right here. Hey, Phaedrian. Where you been, girl? Steamed broccoli. And some herb potatoes. Now, Kwame, what size t-shirt did you pay for? Because, you know, we got a lot of fluffy girls and guys in here. Now, if you bought a small and one of the children need extra material, yes, Marsha, you need to go to the other page. You need to like the other page because in October, we're going to be streaming live from the other page. But listen. Hey, Terry Williams. Girl, you know it wasn't personal. I didn't see your name. Hey, Terry Williams. Hey, girl, hey. Hey, Chuck Pettit. Chuck, we need to go ahead and record that podcast next week. We need to record that podcast next week. I leave tomorrow. So let's do it next week. He done sent money for a small t-shirt. Now, he know most of these women out here are fluffy. But speaking of fluffy, where's my girl Bianca Alston? Hey, Honey Mitchell. Hey, girl, hey. Is that Kawada? I like that name. Kawada? Is that how you say it? Fluffy and all, baby. He know he can't come in here and buy no medium-sized shirts. Medium. Hey, Jasmine Jones. Hey, girl, hey. What's up, Shauna? Kimberly Sams, he paid for... Oh, hey, girl, hey. Hey, Bianca, I was just speaking about you. The other page is Craig Stewart. It's a fan page. You know I don't like that word fan. Because, you know, fan means fanatic. You know what I mean? To me, I just think it sounds kind of cocky to say, oh, fans. Girl, hey, Felicia Green. Girl, she tell me with this backwards written name. Hey, Carrie McRae. Onika. Shani Blackman. Hey, Evie. Yvette. Bye, Phaedrian. Thank you. My girl, Michelle Yates, sent this to me. Okay, so look, let me go ahead and get started. Did you watch the video today that I posted? My girl, is it Marsha Elliott, right? Hey, Carol Cole. She posted it. She sent it to me. Remember I was talking about Lettucey last week? And how she does this thing when she performs the song All Right. I'm about to... Kuwaiti? Is it Kuwaiti? Did I say it right that time? Kuwaiti? We'll be able to get the t-shirt until October, Datis. And then if not, if we don't get the orders in, I'll just cancel it. Okay, so look, remember I was talking about the song about Lettucey. If you want to order the shirt, the link is up here and down here. I'm going to give away this one that Kwame paid for. All right, let me finish my sentence now. You know I'll be getting sidetracked. So remember I was talking about Nene up in Charlotte. She yelling. She came in here 10 minutes late and she yelling. She's still distracting me. I can't even get my thoughts out. I want to get your name right. Kuwaiti. Do y'all see that bull dagger that just came in here in Madison? Girl, don't be coming in my live. Don't be trying to come over here. I'm going to let y'all say hello to Maddie because y'all about to start talking to Madison. Y'all let me know when y'all ready. They about to start talking to her. Hey, niece. Hey, Nene. I'm going to let y'all get y'all hellos out to Madison. Where my people at in Orlando? Orlando, Florida. We're going to be down in Orlando, Florida. The Queen's Supreme Court. We're doing a live show in Orlando, Florida. Oh, Madison, this is what I meant to tell you earlier today. I was in Walmart minding my business today. And I was on the phone. And this lady and this guy were walking out of the Walmart. And I'm on the phone minding my business. And she said, hey. I said, hi. She said, you be with Madison. I meant to tell you that earlier when I called you. Well, we started talking about something else. But anyway, on October 15th, we will be in Orlando for the live Queen Supreme Court show. And she's trying to be in here like she ain't in here. She's trying to be quiet now. Girl, we know you in here. So, October 22nd, we'll be in Baltimore. I'm laughing at Trina. October 22nd, we'll be in Baltimore. Listen, y'all, the tickets are moving fast. Don't wait. Now, I know black folks usually wait until the week of and a couple days before just to go ahead and get their tickets for an event, but these tickets are moving. So, niece, you don't want to wait. My hometown is not playing. Baltimore is buying up them tickets. Do you hear me? Anyway, remember I posted the video the other day with Lettuce. I talked about Lettuce the other day. And how she talked about she was next to homeless. She was sleeping on the floor. And she had the wrong people around her. And she was going to give up on her career as a singer. Hey, love at all times, Delisha. Hey, Delisha. Delisha. Give me one of them delicious kisses. So she talked about that. So my girl sent me a link today of her singing in Chicago. Lettuce singing in Chicago. And I posted it today and I said, make sure you watch it because I want to talk about that tonight. Right? And so hopefully you got a chance to watch it or listen to it because she's saying some really, really powerful stuff in that video. My girl Marsha Elliott inboxed it to me, so I posted it for you guys so you can listen to it. And so I wanted to kind of talk about gratitude, and I posted a picture on my Instagram today, and I posted it on my Facebook, and it's just a picture of me. I'll show you. I posted this picture today on my Instagram and on my Facebook, right? Oh, she was in Dallas, Texas. Okay, Marsha. I don't know why I thought it was in Chicago. But anyway, I posted and I said, at first glance, it would appear that this post is about flossing the jewelry that I had on and the weekend bag. But it isn't. It isn't. This post is the dream realized. My mother used to tell me several years ago that a time would come that I'd be so busy as a writer that I'd begin complaining about not having enough time to relax. She said, and I quote, "It's all gonna happen at once. Watch and see." Although I'm not complaining, the time has come. It is all happening at once. I've been living out of luggage almost every weekend since July because I've been on this book tour, right? So then I said, it can happen for you too. Run to your dreams. Run to your dreams, right? And so I posted earlier today, I posted the lyrics to Sounds of Blackness, and I said, you can win as long as you keep your head to the sky, be optimistic. So all of that kind of led into tonight, you know, what I wanted to say tonight. And so I think a lot of times people, I know for me, there was a time I didn't really understand what it meant when people would say surrender. Just surrender. You know, just let go and let God. You know, they say all these fantastic things and you're like, well, what does that really mean? I have let go. Like what, you know what I mean? You don't really know what that means. Like give me some action items. Like how, so I thought about it today and I said, let me tell them what it means. Because I don't know what's going on with you. But to sum it up, and then I'm going to give you a very long story. But to sum it up, letting it go, or letting go and letting God, or surrendering to it, and whatever, or having faith, what that means is trusting that even if you've lost your house, that it's for your greatest good. Even if you just lost a relationship, the love of your life, right? It means knowing that it's for your best, that it's intended to raise you higher, that it's intended to benefit you, that it's all for your benefit. So even if you've lost your car or whatever, you've lost a child, it's all designed for your benefit. Okay? That's what it means to surrender. So it's not pining over, why is this happening to me? And sitting in the pain. You can't collapse in the pain. You can sit in it for a period of time. For me, you have to decide what your period is. For me, when I'm going through something, I have 3 days. 72 hours. 3. On that third day, like they said, Jesus rose. On that third day, I have to shake it off. Doesn't mean that it's gone away, but I have to shake it off. And I have to figure out a way to keep moving, to keep going. I have to figure out a way to put one foot in front of the other one. But again, I'm going to say it again. No matter what catastrophe has happened in your life, surrendering and having faith, all of that really means is knowing that no matter how bad it is, that it is for your benefit. You have to know that going through the process. Going through the process, you have to understand and know that it really is designed for your benefit, right? The other part of it is being grateful in the moment. So when you listen to that Lettucey clip that I posted, she talks in that video about, she's about to perform this song called All Right. And she's talking about how she was next to homeless. And she was next to homeless because she was making poor choices. She had the wrong people around her. And that's the other thing. When I first wrote my stage play, A Day in the Life, I was 26 years old, and I had the wrong people around me. And looking back, I realized that the reason that show, several reasons. Part of the reason that show didn't go on tour then was because at 26, I would have gotten cocky. I would have thought that it was all about me. I wouldn't have understood at that time that it was about God using me. I would have thought at that time that, oh, shit, I'm popping. I done wrote this play, it's sold out, That's part of it. But the other part of it was I had people that were trying to ride my coattails at the time. There were people who were trying to succeed and trying to claim that they had co-wrote this play with me when I wrote the play myself. And at 26, my confidence had not caught up with my talent. And so because I was not confident at that time, I had added this person onto the marquee of the play. I had put his name up there as well as if he was a co-writer. I split the profits from the show with him. Because again, my confidence had not caught up with my talent. I thought that I needed him. And then I wasn't a public speaker then. I didn't like speaking in front of people. That's why I tell you guys all the time, I am shy. At my core, I'm a shy person. And so I had to grow into this. Even growing into speaking in front of crowds of people at these signings and stuff. And I don't mean like the meet and greets that we've been doing. Like I'm talking about, I've had signings where there's 100 people standing there. You know what I mean? And I just had to find the courage to go up there and speak. But I believe that it all happens when and as it should. And so at 26, I wasn't ready to do this and to speak confidently and be okay if your opinion differed from mine. All of that stuff. Thank you, Bianca, for putting all of the information down there. So, Lettucey, back to Lettucey, she said she was next to homeless. She said, but then she had to change her perspective. Part of surrendering is changing your perspective. Part of letting go and letting God is changing your perspective. So yes, she was sleeping on somebody's floor, but what she said in that video, you got to go and look at that video if you didn't look at it. I posted it on my page. She said what she told herself was, Well, I could be homeless, like on the streets. I could be sleeping in my car. But she had a friend's floor to sleep on. You understand? So it's always about perspective. You may be complaining that you don't have money to feed yourself. But the blessing is you have friends or family members that can take care of you during this stale period. Because that was me. Like, Angela was always holding me down. Angela was like, well, Craig, come stay with me for a while. Just come stay with me for 6 months. Or we would go out to eat and she would pay for the dinner. Or I would be out with other friends and they would pay for the dinner. And there was a part of me that got so tired of having people take care of me. You know, because you just get tired of needing help. But the blessing was, and I used to come to this every now and then, share the video. I used to come to this from time to time. It would be like, well, no, you don't have the money to pay for yourself to eat or to do these things. But God has provided these people. God has dispatched these people to take care of you. I'm going to give you a really quick story, and then I'm going to move on to the next part of what I was going to say. I remember at the same period in time, I was struggling, didn't have a lot of money. And I remember this guy, he liked me. Hey, Mikey, he likes me. And I wasn't interested. I was not interested in him. And I used to have this thing. This is where pride and ego step in. I used to have this thing. I'm telling you, this book that I'm writing now, it's going to get y'all right together. I just got to finish it. Now, don't ask me when it's going to be ready because I don't know. But I'm taking my time because I have to give it to you. I have to make sure every word matters, right? I got to take my time with it. But this is where pride and ego step in. This guy was interested in me. And I had this way of thinking at the time that, well, I won't ever have a motherfucker saying, oh, I did this for Craig or I did that for him. So I had this thing where I wouldn't take from a person. It was even hard for me to take from Angela, my friend, who wanted nothing from me. And it was pride, right? And so I'll never forget this particular guy. He was like, Craig, I know you're going through a tough time. I don't want anything from you. I just want to help you. I'm your friend. Terry said her coins are ready for the new book. He said, Craig, I just want to be your friend. I just want to be your friend. And I'll never forget, I needed stuff from my place. Like, I needed like toilet paper and, you know, the shit you need in your house. And like cleaning products, laundry stuff. And so I'll never forget, we went to Target. We went to a Target. And he said, and he was on the phone, minding his business. He was a hairstylist. And you know them hairstylists. You know those hairstylists, they have money. Look, listen, as my mother would say, baby, them hairstylists, they make money hand over fist. What does that mean? They make money hand over fist. When I say Gladys loves to say that, but what I think that means is as fast as you pulling that money in, you reaching out for more money. But anyway, he made money hand over fist. And so, you know, hairstylists, they always got cash. And so we're in the Target, and he's on the phone minding his business. He looks over to me and says, go ahead and get whatever you want. Baby, I remember he wanted to pay my phone bill. I wouldn't let him do it. But I did let him buy the stuff in the store. I never did anything with this man, never had sex with him, nothing. Didn't do anything like that. And I'll never forget, I said to my cousin, I believe it was my cousin, Tiffany, that I'm going to read a little piece about in this second book. She said, fool, that's God trying to help you right there. She said, you turning down blessings. She said, you idiot. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there will be people. God will show up. God uses people. God uses people to get to you, to send you messages, to do things on your behalf. And sometimes your ego and your pride just, listen, you got to let that go. You're suffering because you won't see the blessing in it. Because you're worried about what somebody's going to throw in your face later. So I started to change my perspective. You have to start to change your perspective. I don't know what's going on with you. You may be going through a breakup. One of you messaged me today on SoundCloud. You were listening to one of the podcasts that I did months and months ago. And it's called The Pain of a Breakup. And she said to me in the comments on SoundCloud, she said, Craig, I'm going through this right now. She was in a relationship for 5 years. She said the relationship is over and she just doesn't know what to do with herself now. She's crying every day. She's losing sleep. She's not eating, da-da-da-da. And that kind of sparked me to have this conversation tonight too. But you just have to be patient with the pain. You have to really find a way to be patient with the pain. Because the most painful lessons offer the greatest amount of growth. They offer the greatest amount of growth. And so you just have to imagine yourself on the other side of this pain. Yes, that sounds of blackness, baby. She's on repeat, optimistic. You have to see yourself on the other side of the pain. And just imagine how exponentially you will grow on the other side of that pain. Whether it's a relationship or whether you've lost your house or lost your car, whatever it is. You have to lose it all. And if you're willing to lose it all, sometimes the lesson is being willing to lose it all. Surrendering to the fact that you have to lose it all in order for it to all come back and be better. I've shared with you guys many times before in my first book, and I've talked about this. This is where it goes back to me talking to you guys about reading underneath the surface, right? Remember in the first book when I told you before I moved to LA, my car was repossessed. I was living at Angela's house. I was going through a breakup. I lost it all. Bank account was overdrawn. Moved to LA, and I had to lose it all for it to be restored. But you have to trust the process. You have to trust the process of losing it all, of letting it all go. Some of you are holding on to a car that you know you can't afford. You got designer pieces and things right now that you could be selling on eBay or at a consignment shop so you can pay your bills or put some food in your house or whatever. But you so busy trying to maintain an image. You worried about what people are going to think if you're not driving that car anymore. Well, what you going to tell them? Girl, you tell them that they got repossessed. That's what you tell them. I've had 4. And what? But you have to be willing to lose it all. That's a part of God. God is looking at you. He's watching you. He's like, okay, let me see if she's going to hold on to this. Because see, have you seen that meme where God has this huge teddy bear? It's like a picture of God. It's like an image of God. And he has this huge teddy bear behind his back. And the little girl has this small, tiny bear. And he's basically saying to her, if you switch with me, if you trust me. But she can't see this huge teddy bear behind him. And she's refusing to let go of this little tiny teddy bear. But my point is, if you're willing to let it go, I promise you, he will restore you and give it all back to you. When you guys watch this video, when you watch these videos and you see all of this stuff that Tarnette is sending me, am I grateful for it? Absolutely. Is it a surprise to me? No. The only surprise is that it's come from one of you, that it's come from somebody that I don't know through a Facebook Live video. That's the only thing that surprised me because, see, I'm telling you, I knew that he was going to bless me abundantly. This is a part of the blessing. The fact that you guys contribute to that GoFundMe every week and you don't know me, that has nothing to do with you. Yes, you're being generous, but God commissioned you to do that for me because I was faithful. That's what I'm telling you. If you do that, if you activate that in your own life, it has to come back. I told you guys the other day, whatever you put into the universe, it has to come back. It's like a boomerang. Whatever you throw out, it has to come back. But it's all about you changing your perspective. You always have to see yourself, the cup, half full and not half empty. You have to see, because see, when I was in that phase of struggling, it was because I was seeing the cup as half empty, not half full. I was like, oh, well, I don't have a car. Oh, I live with Angela. Oh, I don't have money to go out to eat. She has to pay for my food. Like, I was always looking at it from the negative perspective, right? But it wasn't until I lived in LA, and I'm going to read this little part to you. It wasn't until I was living in LA, I'm going to put my dinner to the side. It wasn't until I was living in LA that I started to change my perspective. And it's not easy. Changing your perspective is not easy, especially when it feels like the world is caving in, the world is collapsing around you. You understand what I'm saying? It's not easy to change your perspective when you got that power coming, whatever bill you have, right? Whatever pressures you have on top of you. It's not easy to see the cup as half full when you have the pressures, when you go to bed and feel like the world is just on top of your shoulders. It's not easy, but that's where you have to exercise that muscle. That's where you have to exercise that faith muscle. And sometimes it might get the best of you and you feel like you're suffocating and it's sucking the air out of you, but you have to get, that's why I say to you, write down 5 things that you're grateful for. That's why I say to you at the end of these videos, get down on your knees and pray. Even if you don't believe in prayer or you don't believe in God, because I'm not a person that believes that all black people believe in God. Because there are some black folks who don't believe in God. But just have some sort of a ritual. Sit down and write down what you're grateful for. The 5 things. Start with 5 and keep adding to it, right? You have to see the cup half full, not half empty. So, I'm living in LA. I'm going to set the scene for you. This is in the second book. This is in One Thing for Certain, Two Things for Sure. See, this is why I keep telling you guys, these books are not just about, oh, he came out, oh, he was funny, oh, he was writing those checks. No, it's the lessons in between, people. And I don't in any way think that, what I'm telling you is I believe that these lessons are so pure because I've told you before, I believe God called me to write these books. Listen, I do remember writing these books. You know how some people say, I don't even remember writing. It's like God just came and took over me. No, I do remember writing them. But there are instances where I sometimes, and I don't read the book. It's been a long time since I've read the books all the way through. But I remember early on when I would read through, I'd be like, damn, you wrote the shit out of that. You understand what I'm saying? Like, and I don't mean that in a cocky way. If you picking up what I'm saying as a cocky kind of thing, see, that's that poison that's still in you. You got to get rid of that poison. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying it in that kind of way. What I'm saying is I see God on these pages, and I'm like, God gave me the words to write in here, right? But this piece right here is just not about the actual stuff that happened. So like the chapter, I'm about to start on page 63. It's chapter 5, The Jungle. Now, if you know anything about LA, the projects in the Crenshaw district is called The Jungle. They call it The Jungle. For my people in Baltimore, we had Murphy Homes, right? But they call theirs The Jungle. So I was living at The Jungle. Remember, I had moved to LA? And my friend's parents had told me I could stay with them until I found a job. Well, 3 weeks after I was in LA, her parents said to me, well, you have to find somewhere else to live. We thought you'd have a job by now. Girl, in a month? Even if I had a job in a month, girl, LA they charge you first and last month's rent. Girl, I still would have needed more than a month to save up the money to move into. So anyway, ended up moving to The Jungle with a perfect stranger. That's all I'm going to tell you. So hopefully you either have the book or you need to get the book, right? I'm living in the jungle. I'm just setting the scene and then I'm going to read it. I'm living in the jungle. Still hadn't grasped the lesson yet of how to see the cup half full. And I was just ungrateful because I was uncomfortable living in the jungle. See, here's the other thing. It's hard to find gratitude when you're uncomfortable. Sit with that for a second. It's hard to find gratitude. It's hard to be grateful for something when you're uncomfortable. You understand what I'm saying? Your luxury car just got repossessed, or your cushy job just got taken from you. And now you got some job where you're making $10,000 less a year, or you're driving some little hoopty ass car. even though you have things to be grateful for, still, it's hard to find gratitude when you're uncomfortable. Because now you're uncomfortable in this raggedy-ass car. Because you used to have this luxury car. Or you used to have this luxury home. Now you're in this apartment. You see my arm slip. Now you're in this little apartment. It's hard to find gratitude. It's hard to be grateful when you're uncomfortable. But it's not impossible. So I'm living in the jungle. And Crystal Currents, I just saw your question. I actually saw him, the friend in LA that I was staying with in the jungle. His mom passed some time ago, probably like 2 years ago now, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. Ron told me that. You know my friend Ron that has the health problems and stuff now. Ron told me that. But I ran into him when I was in LA the other week. And he said, hey. I was like, hey, how you doing? That's another story. So I was uncomfortable living here, even though there was so much to be grateful for. But I was uncomfortable living there, so I wasn't looking at the cup as half full. So I'm going to read this section, and then we're going to discuss it, okay? I lived out of my suitcases because there was no closet space for my things. Sleeping in the middle of the living room left no privacy because I was exposed to everyone who passed through, including his brother, who visited his baby's mother, who lived in the apartment below us. Every morning I was awakened by children screaming in the courtyard, screen doors slamming shut, arguing or yelling, coming from the other units, or the summer heat because Chaz's apartment didn't have central air. Chaz's mother was an ornery woman and made no apologies for being snappy whenever she talked to me. Ordinarily, she would simply pass me in her wheelchair without saying anything to me. The only time she addressed me was if we were the only two in the apartment and she needed me to do something that she was unable to do for herself. And even then, she never made eye contact with me. It was no secret that she didn't like me or the idea of me staying at that apartment, Chaz's mother would be in the bathroom an average of 45 minutes, leaving me no option on a few instances but to pee outside on the backside of the building. And when I was finally able to get in the bathroom, I hated using it because it was less than presentable. Before I could use the toilet, I had to remove the assisted toilet seat. You know those assisted toilet seats that sometimes elderly or disabled people use so they can kind of sit down, they can sit higher, and it has the handles. So there was one of those on the toilet, and I had to move it. And it was so nasty because they never cleaned it, so it was just like, oh, it was just nasty, and I just never wanted to move it. So anyway, I said, I hated touching it. When I showered, I noticed his mother's long, stringy hair clogged in the drain, causing the water to fill up around my ankles. I called my cousin Tiffany to complain. Listen, I called my cousin Tiffany to complain. Now, mind you, I had no place to live. So the fact that I was in this man's house complaining about the condition of his house and I had nowhere to go. Are you complaining about something right now that you really should be trying to see the bright side of? Now, how dare you gonna be complaining? Anyway, I was almost embarrassed to say it, ashamed even. It's the projects, Tiffany, I said with my teeth clenched. You have to find one thing to be grateful for every day. One thing every day, she said. Change the way you look at things. Change the way you look at things. That's all I wanted to share from this. But what I will say to you is that conversation, I believe, shifted my trajectory. I personally believe that. I believe that it changed the way I saw the world. that conversation, and again, it was not easy to shift because I still had to get in that tub with that water up to my ankles and shit, and I still had to move that assisted seat. I still had to do all of those things. I was still sleeping in the middle of this boy's living room. It was still hot in the living room. Like, the conditions hadn't changed. It was still very much so uncomfortable. But that's why I had to exercise my faith muscle. You got to exercise that faith muscle. You understand what I'm saying to you? You got to exercise that faith muscle. And once that muscle is good and strong, that's when God says, oh, she ready. Oh, he's ready. I can move him to the next level because he gets it now. She gets it now. And so every time I found myself complaining about something, I would catch myself and I would change the way I thought. You have the power. And this is what I talk about in my 4th book that I'm writing now. This book is called Book of Jewels. You have the power to switch the way that you think in an instant. In an instant. Every single time it comes to mind, you say, you know what? Something's going to happen. I don't have to figure that out right now. What else do I have to do today? You can change the way that you think. You have control. This is why I say to you, when you pray at night, or when I pray at night, I say, thank you for the ability to reason, to make sound decision and judgment. You control your mind. That's why mental illness and mental health is so important. We talked about that yesterday with Taraji. But every single time I found myself, when I was living in California, every single time I found myself about to complain about something, I reminded myself, well, bitch, you could be living in that car. You could have been sleeping in that Honda Prelude. I had a little 2-seat Honda Prelude when I was living in LA. And then you complained about that water going up around your ankles. If you were living in your car, you'd be using that LA Fitness gym membership to go shower in the gym. Do you understand how uncomfortable that would have been? Because I would have had to pack up my bags, get out the car, go inside. Like, there's always something to be grateful for. It's all about your perspective. It's all about your perspective. But once you shift your perspective, that's when God can really move in your life. That's when he can really move in your life. And you start to see how abundantly blessed you are. Because it's not about the money. It's about peace of mind. It's about peace of mind. And so I started to think about it, like, and that every time I complained, the conversation with my cousin, it resonated with. I could hear her in the back of my mind saying, every day find one thing to be grateful for. When you take your ass to work tomorrow, when you take your ass to work tomorrow, and your boss or your coworker get on your motherfucking nerves, get your earphones. Or you get to work tomorrow and you complaining because you done got a pay cut. Or this ain't the job that you wanted, or you were supposed to get this promotion. Think about where you could be. Your ass could be standing at the unemployment office, dealing with them nasty people over there at... They ain't listening. They don't hear what I'm saying. Because, see, they could be over at the Department of Labor at that job training bullshit that gets on everybody's nerves. Bitch, ain't nobody got time to come in here for this job training shit. Bitch, I just need to get my check every Wednesday or Thursday, depending on when I call into the Oliver system. It's called the Oliver system in Atlanta. I don't need to be coming to this work program. I don't need to do all of this. You could be going over to the unemployment office. You could be sitting down there at the defects office arguing with one of them ornery ass social workers trying to get your food stamps. Keep complaining. Keep complaining. Your ass gonna sit right there in that space you in right now. Keep motherfucking complaining. The longer you complain, you picking up what I'm putting down, Trina Maddox? Keep sitting there complaining. As long as you complaining, God is going to keep you stationary. Girl, we're going to look up 3 years later. She can be still sitting in that same position complaining about that same bullshit. You better start seeing the cup half full and not half empty. You got to change your perspective. I'm telling you, that was a seminal moment in my life when my cousin said to me every single day, you have to find, she said, I don't care how hard it is out there. She told me this. I called that hoe for some sympathy points. She said, I don't care how hard it is out there. She said, if it's that hard, bring your ass back home. Come on back home. You can go live with your parents. That's what she told me. It's in here. If you have these books, go back through them and read them again because there are lessons underneath the lessons. Listen, she said to me, bring your ass home then. Go on back to Baltimore. You can go live with your parents. Abby will take you. You know, my mother's name is Gladys, but my family calls my mother Abby. Abby will be glad to have you home. Go on back home. I said, well, no, that's not what I'm saying. She said, well, what are you saying? Because I don't understand. She said, well, what are you saying? Because I don't understand. Because all I hear you doing is complaining. You complaining and shit. Some of y'all got babies, daddies who's participating in the children's lives, and you upset and you yanking and jerking the kids, not letting them spend time with the kids because you mad with him because he don't want to be with you no more. Do you know that there are women who would die to have a man to participate in their children's lives? I did a podcast about it. It's called Frustrated Fathers. You got to see the cup half full. When I started saying every time I felt like I was complaining, I'm going to tell you when it started to shift. Remember in this book when the girl said to me, hey, you can come stay at my house. I have a 3-bedroom house. Do you remember that part of the book? Those are my people who have the book. That happened almost instantly. It happened probably like a week after I started being grateful for having this place to live. Even though it was uncomfortable, I found the gratitude. Child, I'm outside peeing in the back in the projects because his mama was in the bathroom. I complained about everything I could complain about. But as soon as I started saying, you know what, I could be sleeping in my car. You know what, I don't like sleeping in this living room. And it is noisy because, girl, it was the projects. And, like, I could hear them people yelling. And, girl, you know how it is in the projects. Girl, I heard them kids yelling and screaming and crying. Girl, them metal slamming doors. You know how the projects are. Don't act new. Girl, I can hear all of that stuff. Girl, they were waking me up at 6 and 7 in the morning. But then I still would wake up the next day and I still would be pissed off, right? But then that second voice would say, well, bitch, you ain't got no job to go to, so what you awake? Perspective. It was like, well, okay, well, why you are cranky? It ain't like you got to get up to go to a job. You got to change your perspective. And so as soon as I started to find the good in every single thing, that's when old girl said to me, oh, you can come stay in my house. You'll have your own bedroom and everything. That's when I moved to Pasadena. Thank you, Terry Davis. Thank you. I moved to Pasadena. As soon as I started to shift the way that I thought. And even when I started to panic about not having enough money, because once I moved to Pasadena, I still didn't have a job. And regular gasoline in California at that time was $5 a gallon. Regular. Bitch, I didn't even want to turn my car on. I didn't even want to look at my car. But every time I felt myself about to panic about not having enough money and I said, you know what? I have this great place that I'm staying in now. I still have my food stamps. I have food to eat. That's all that mattered. I had food to eat and I had a place to stay. Everything else was extra. I started looking at everything else as extra. And things just started moving and progressing slowly. And this doesn't mean that you'll never have setbacks, because you will have setbacks. But again, what I'm telling you is, because I have people stop me, I have people that inbox me, or people will say to me, oh my God, you're really doing your thing with this book tour? Oh my God, ooh. Baby, it wasn't easy, and it's not easy. Bitch, I ain't packed my bags I'm leaving for South Carolina tomorrow. I ain't packed nothing yet. I gotta go ahead and pack. I gotta get my hair cut tomorrow. I got the books set up. I do have the books ready. But it's like the time that I'm living in now, these are the times that I was praying about. I say that in the first book. Your prayers change. Your prayers change. In my first book, a friend of mine said to me, Craig, right now you're praying to be able to just be able to pay your bills. He said that to me. The character's name is Lane in the first book. He said, remember the part with the guy who put me in touch with the promoter who promoted my show? That's where I am in the first book. And he said, Craig, right now you're just praying to be able to pay your bills. But Craig, your prayers change. He said, what are you going to be praying when your bills are paid? And what you going to be praying for then? I'm going to ask you, what will you be praying for then? When you're out of whatever situation you're in right now, what you going to be praying for next? I'm going to tell you what you need to be praying for. You need to be praying to change your perspective. To see the good in everything. See the good in everything. And so again, I'm going to say this again. I'm so grateful for all that you guys do. Whether it's just coming on here just to watch me, supporting the books, buying the Audible books, ordering them through Amazon, sending money through the GoFundMe to support this book tour. You afford me the privilege of being able to do what I love to do, right? You may not even understand why you do this stuff for me. But what I'm here to tell you is you're doing it because God commissioned you to, because I put in the work before you met me, before you knew me. I was praying for this time. I didn't know how it was going to happen. And see, that's the other thing. You don't have to connect the dots. You don't have to figure out how you're going to get from point A to B to C to D. You may be trying to start a business. You may have no clue how you're going to open up that storefront or whatever it is that you're trying to do. That's not your job to figure out how the dots will connect. When I put out that first book, I didn't know how I was going to be able to pay for printing costs and to fly to this city or to go to that city or whatever. I didn't have to figure that part out. All I had to do was exercise my spiritual muscle. You just have to build up that muscle and trust and just keep moving. You just have to trust and keep moving. Trust the process. Keep going. God does the connecting, yes. And so all of the abundance that you see, some of you are like, oh my God, you're so spoiled. I see them comments. When you guys say, oh my God, you're so spoiled. Dr. Young and Tonette just got you so spoiled. And some of you, I'm going to go ahead and step on a couple of your toes. And some of you are secretly like, shit, I ain't sending that Negro no money. Shit, let them other fools send the money. I know some of y'all thinking like that. I know you are. But see, when you opt, and you don't ever have to send anything. This is not a way for me to say to cajole you to send anything. But what I'm saying is when you operate in that mindset, you remain stagnant. Because that's a poisonous way of thinking. You don't have to send to me, but when you don't have a generous spirit, and it's not about sending stuff or giving stuff, but when you don't have a generous spirit, God can't move through you. The universe can't move you. The universe can't move you because of your perspective. And so those of you that say, oh, I just have $5 and I'm going to send this $5, I appreciate that. I do. Because, again, that is God using you to support me because of the work that I did. Right? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I think that made sense. All right? Listen, I'm going to get off of here because I do need to pack. I have not packed. I'll be in Charleston tomorrow. But I'm going to be, the event is Friday. The Charleston event is Friday. This coming Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Saturday, I'll be in Greenville, South Carolina. Okay? You guys have an amazing night. Think about what I said. Watch this video again if you need to. Write down 5 things. Change your perspective starting tonight. Change your perspective starting tonight. Change your perspective starting tonight. Thank you, Crystal. My girl, Crystal Currents. Brush your teeth, floss your teeth, brush your tongue. Oh, wait. Nene just said it's hard to see past the process when you're in the now. See, that's the thing. You're looking too far ahead. You're supposed to be in the present. You're looking too far. See, that's again, you're trying to connect the dots. You can't be looking ahead. You're supposed to be in the now. Stop trying. You're looking ahead, trying to figure out how it's going to connect itself. That's not your responsibility, niece. Niece, come on back. Come back, niece. Come back. Sit in the now. Sit in the now. Sit in the now. When you're looking too far ahead, you're trying to find the answers. That's not your job. That's not your job. All right, brush your teeth, floss your teeth, brush your tongue. And remember, I give myself 3 days to shake some shit off. You figure out how many days you need. And don't come back with no shit talking about you need a week. You got 3 to 5 days. Now I'm doing 3. 3 days to shake it off. Whatever it is. I don't care what it is. I don't care if your car just got towed today. I don't care if you got 3 flat tires today. I don't care if somebody vandalized your car today. You got 3 days to shake that off. Shake it off. Shake it off. If it's a relationship, shake it off. You got 3 days to shake it off. And when I say shake it off, when I say 3 days, I mean you have 3 days to kind of sit and be immobilized. You can let it paralyze you for 3 days. But you can't stay paralyzed past 3 days. You can't stay paralyzed past 3 days. Okay? You got 3 days to let that thing sock you in your gut. And then you stand up and you say, okay, I'm going to keep pressing. Okay? Have a good night. Bye.